How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. The shadows of witchcraft. How to protect yourself from witchcraft, black magic, and voodoo. In a small village nestled deep in the forest, there lived an old woman named Selina. People in the village whispered about her strange abilities to heal and curse, though no one had seen her perform the dark rituals they feared. When young Elsa, whose parents were gravely ill, came to Selina begging for help, she soon found herself tangled in a world far beyond her comprehension. Though Selina claimed to offer help, the price was steep. The small gold coin Elsa had brought was exchanged for something much more valuable than money: her soul. That night, as Elsa lay in her bed, she could feel the cold grip of an unseen force tightening around her chest. Her dreams turned into nightmares, and the whispers of an ancient spell rang in her ears. Unknowingly, Elsa had crossed paths with witchcraft, a world where magic could heal or destroy depending on the intentions behind it. This tale is not just a figment of fiction, but represents the very real fears many people hold regarding black magic, witchcraft, and voodoo. The forces that dwell within these practices are believed by some to be able to influence the world in a dark and unseen ways. Whether you believe in these powers or not, the consequences of being targeted by such forces can feel deeply unnerving. Now, this video will explore the tactics and strategies used by witches, practitioners of witchcraft, and voodoo priests. So this video, we will also explore how you can protect yourself from such forces and keep your mind, body, and spirit safe from their reach. Let's begin by looking at the dark arts, the tactics and strategies used by witches. Witchcraft, particularly in its darker form, involves manipulating the unseen forces of nature to control or influence people, situations, or objects. So, the tactics used by witches in spells and rituals include 1. Curses and hexes. A witch may cast a curse or hex to bring bad luck or misfortune to a person. The idea here is that negative energy is directed at the target, resulting in a chain of unfortunate events. Curses often involve the use of personal items from the target, like hair or clothing, along with incantations to bind the individual's life force to the witch's will. So, let me give you a short story. Mary, a young woman whose business failed after an odd encounter with a mysterious fortune teller, later realized that a curse had been placed on her. The fortune teller had secretly taken a strand of her hair, which she used to weave a spell that brought financial ruin to Mary's life. It wasn't until Mary sought the guidance of a spiritual healer that the curse was broken. Then the other tactic used by witches is voodoo dolls. A tactic frequently associated with voodoo practices is the use of voodoo dolls. A doll, often made from cloth or other materials, is created to represent the person being targeted. The practitioner will then insert pins into the doll, which is believed to cause physical harm or emotional distress to the person it represents. This form of magic is usually accompanied by prayers or incantations invoking spirits to assist with the spell. Let me give you a short story. In the heart of New Orleans, that is in the US, a man named Thomas began feeling pain in his legs without any apparent cause. His joints ached and he could barely walk. A local voodoo priestess revealed that a voodoo doll had been created in his likeness and that someone with ill intentions had been using it to cause him suffering. Only by confronting the practitioner and undoing the curse could Thomas find relief. The other tactic used by witches is binding spells. Binding spells are used to limit someone's actions or freedom, often to prevent them from harming others. A witch may use these spells to trap an individual's energy, making them feel stuck or unable to progress in life. These spells can affect a person's relationships, finances, or career, and often the target remains unaware of the manipulation. Let me give you a short story. Jane found herself stuck in a toxic relationship, unable to break free no matter how hard she tried. She sought the counsel of an elder woman who revealed that a binding spell had been cast on her. Someone close to her had used dark magic to keep her bound to the relationship. With the elders' help, Jane was able to break the spell and regain control of her life. Now, the other strategy used by witches is love spells. Love spells are among the most common forms of witchcraft, but they can be used for both good and evil. A love spell is designed to compel someone to fall in love with the witch or the spellcaster's intended target. Dark love magic, however, often involves manipulating someone's feelings against their will, leading to obsession or unhealthy attachment. Let me give you a short story. Anna had always been in love with her childhood friend, John. Desperate to win his affection, she turned to a witch for help. The witch cast a love spell on John, and soon he became obsessed with Anna. At first, it felt magical, but eventually John's obsession turned possessive and harmful. Anna realized the spell was at work and sought to reverse it before it was too late. The other tactic used by witches is spirit summoning. Witches, especially those practicing forms of dark magic, may attempt to summon spirits, demons, or other entities to do their bidding. This involves complex rituals and invocations of specific beings, typically from the spirit world. These entities may be used for various purposes, including causing harm, acquiring knowledge, or influencing a person's life. Let me give you a short story. A group of college students experimenting with the occult found themselves inadvertently summoning an entity during a late night seance. At first, they thought it was a harmless prank, but soon their lives took a dark turn. Strange occurrences and inexplicable events plagued them, and they were forced to seek spiritual help to banish the spirit that had been summoned. So, how do you protect yourself from witchcraft, black magic, and voodoo? So, while the tactics employed by witches and practitioners of black magic can be formidable, there are various ways to shield oneself from such harmful practices. So, let me give you some protective measures you can take to keep yourself safe from the dark forces that might seek to manipulate or control you. Number one, spiritual cleansing. One of the most effective ways to protect yourself from black magic and witchcraft is to engage in regular spiritual cleansing. This can be done through prayer, meditation, or ritualistic baths using cleansing herbs like sage, frankincense, or rosemary. Now, these rituals help remove negative energy and protect your aura from harmful influences. Let me give you a short story. Tom had always felt a sense of heaviness around him. He couldn't explain it, but it seemed like his luck was always running out. After a spiritual counselor suggested he take a spiritual bath with sage and salt, Tom noticed a significant change in his life. The dark cloud that had hung over him dissipated, and his fortune slowly began to improve. The other way of protecting yourself from witchcraft is amulets, using amulets and talismans. Amulets, talismans, and protective charms are believed to offer protection from curses, hexes, and evil spirits. These items, often worn as jewelry or carried in a bag, are typically charged with protective energy or blessed by a spiritual healer. Popular symbols include the evil eye, pentagrams, or specific religious icons. Let me give you a short story. Sarah was a believer in the protective power of talismans. After receiving a charm blessed by a local priest, she felt a profound sense of peace and safety. Her life seemed to stabilize, and she noticed that the bad luck she had experienced for months started to fade. The charm had given her the protection she needed to fend off dark forces. Now, the other way of protecting yourself from witchcraft is through prayers and affirmations. Consistently speaking words of affirmation or prayer is a powerful tool for protection. Many cultures believe that invoking divine protection can shield one from witchcraft and black magic. By reciting specific prayers or affirmations, you align yourself with higher spiritual energies and send out a protective vibration. Let me give you a short story. In a quiet village in the mountains, an elderly woman named Eliza faced constant attacks from a local witch who wanted to destroy her family's reputation. Eliza, though scared, prayed daily for protection, calling upon her ancestors and divine forces. Her faith was so strong that the witch's efforts began to falter, and the dark magic was broken. The other way of protecting yourself from witchcraft and black magic or voodoo is to use salt and protection. Salt is widely considered a purifying and protective element. So using salt for protection will work. Placing salt around your home or using it in baths is believed to create a barrier against dark magic. You can sprinkle salt in doorways, window sills, and along the perimeter of your home to form a protective shield. When Jenny's house started to feel haunted by strange and unsettling forces, she turned to an old family remedy, salt. By sprinkling a line of salt across the threshold of her door and windows, Jenny created a protective barrier. Within days, the paranormal activity stopped and peace returned to her home. The other way of protecting yourself from witchcraft is to seek guidance from spiritual healers. When confronted with black magic, witchcraft, or voodoo, it can be beneficial to seek the help of a spiritual healer, shaman, or priest. These individuals often have the knowledge and experience to break curses, banish negative energy, and restore balance to your life. Let me give you a short story here. After experiencing a series of disturbing dreams and misfortunes, Mark consulted a shaman who specialized in removing dark energy. The shaman performed a ritual to rid him of the malevolent forces that had attached themselves to him. Over time, Mark's life improved and he felt liberated from the oppressive influence. So, the world of witchcraft, black magic, and voodoo is shrouded in mystery and fear. But with knowledge and protective practices, you can defend yourself against these forces. Whether you choose to rely on spiritual cleansing, amulets, prayers, or seeking the guidance of a healer, it's important to remember that your personal energy, faith, and actions can form a powerful shield against the darkness. The story of Elsa, the young woman caught in Selena's trap, reminds us that magic, both good and bad, can influence our lives in profound ways. However, with vigilance and the right protective strategies, you can safeguard yourself from the forces that seek to control or harm you. In the end, your own strength and spiritual resilience are your best defenses. So stay grounded, stay aware, and most importantly, trust your intuition, because the unseen world is often more real than we think. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.